Do you not want it? I'm sorry.
All right, goals.
Goals.
This is ASL.
Right. So
What about your
making
ASL?
my setup, because sometimes I just set things up but then don't comment on it. So just linking.
Use of space and
There we
linking
go.
them. Great. So back up so you're a little bit behind Lindsay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Clear mouthing.
Clear mouthing. All right.
And I'm holding you.
Yes.
Remember that there are times back here where you're sitting and you feel like, oh, I just want to get my hands up and I'm kind of bored. There is something that you can learn from every one of your classmates. And by you analyzing what they're doing and writing feedback for them, you're integrating what it should look like, what is not a good thing, what I can pick up from them, what are great signs. So work is hard back here too. And the goal is that all of us will improve our skills. So the more feedback we can give to someone, the more feedback you'll get, and we can all be better for it, right? Okay? Okay. Are we ready? Oh, we're already going. Great.
Is it started? Okay, so I'm going to be talking about my senior trip when I was in high school. We went to Washington, D.C. as a senior class, and I went to a really small private high school. It was called Illiana because it combines the words Illinois and Indiana, and everyone seems to get a kick out of that. But so there were only about 100 of us that went on my trip, since there was only about 600 or so people in the high school. So we left there in 2007. We left for our trip together. It was about 3 days and 4 nights. And we all piled into a coach bus, and we were all really excited and ready to go. But that was before the overnight trip in the bus with Finding Nemo playing on repeat in the background about 4 times altogether. So that was fun, because our teachers wouldn't let us watch PG-13 movies because we were young adults with easily molded minds. But once we arrived there, it was really fun. We did a lot of things while we were there. The only thing I kind of regret about the trip, looking back at it now, is that I was designated to be the official photographer for this trip. And I got paid, but it was always really awkward having to walk around with my camera. And I couldn't fully just sit back and enjoy everything we saw because I had to go up to groups of people that I didn't really hang out with and just, interrupt and be like, hey, can I take your picture? So it was kind of awkward, but I got paid. But in the long run, I wish I could have just gone and hung out with my friends and enjoyed the sights instead of having to be put in this really awkward situation of going up and approaching people that I wasn't really a fan of. But anyways, altogether, the trip was awesome. I'd never been to D.C., so we saw all the major highlights. The first day we were there, we went and we saw the White House. We went to the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. And then we saw most of the big war memorials there as well, and took a ton of pictures. I did not go to Gallaudet at the time because I had no idea what Gallaudet was. So I wish I had known so I could go because I've wanted to go since then, but maybe next time I go. One really humbling experience that we had was the following day. Our group went to Arlington National Cemetery, and we had the opportunity to see the changing of the guards ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, which basically this is a tomb that honors all of the soldiers who have died in battles or wars that were never given a specific name. And so they were given this unknown tomb to honor all the people who were not given their own burial sites because they were unnamed. So 4 students from our high school were chosen to participate in the ceremony, and we got to actually meet the guards who were changing off in the ceremony. and they got to go forward with the guard as they changed, and we got to lay a wreath at the tomb. So that was a really cool experience and just a really great way to show our respects to and kind of gratitude to the soldiers while we were there. So that was a really neat experience to watch as well. So we saw all these beautiful sights, all this really amazing architecture and memorials. But actually, the thing that I remember most about this trip was this really ridiculous experience that we had the last night we were there. And we were getting ready to leave the next morning to go back home. And so me and my 3 best friends were just goofing around in the hotel room that night. Just being silly. We were jumping on the beds like 5-year-olds, yes. And I thought it would be really cool to take pictures of my 2 friends, Amber and Erin, jumping from one bed to the next. And I was going to get mid-air pictures of them, like all these action shots, because it was just funny and we wanted to put them on Facebook. So I set up my camera. I was sitting on the floor next to one of the beds, and they were positioned on the other bed. And we were just laughing so hard. We thought it was hilarious. We were like 5-year-olds. But anyways, we were hyped up on caffeine, so we were just having a lot of fun. So they took a running start, and first Amber went, and then my friend Erin went, and then they decided it would be cool to go both of them at the same time. So they took a running leap, jump in the air, they land on the bed, and there's this sickening crunch, and suddenly the mattress is on the ground. The entire frame of the bed had not only collapsed, but actually shattered, because it was made out of that really cheap plywood material stuff. So we lifted up the mattress, and the wooden frame was in probably 40 to 50 little pieces on the ground. So we were hysterically laughing because we had no idea what to do. And we probably spent about 2.5 hours, and it's 2 in the morning at this point, trying to get these pieces to kind of fit back together. And we actually managed to get the frame of the bed back into a semblance of its old shape. And we picked up the mattress and laid it back on top of the frame really carefully. But we didn't dare sleep in the bed after that, so me and Amber were on the floor. And we probably could have gotten away with just leaving it like that, because it looked fine, it looked great. However, we were afraid that some really sweet old couple was going to come in the room after us on their little vacation, celebrating their anniversary. And old man sits down in the bed and breaks his arm when it collapses. So we ended up telling our teachers, and my one teacher she thought it was funny. She didn't care, but the other teacher freaked out and got all upset, and he told the hotel workers, and they came up and inspected it and told us we were going to have to pay for it, which we never did get charged for it, so it ended up working out. But that was probably, I've never laughed so hard in my life, because we were just sitting there looking at each other. Did this really just happen? So, this memorable trip to DC with all these beautiful sights, and that's what I remember the most about the trip, because it was pretty funny.
Thanks. Yay. Seriously?
Seriously.